Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Adds to and continues it. I feel like those are the challenges. But yeah, I'm excited about this series. I'm excited about it. I feel like, especially with this podcast, we share a lot of information. We share a lot of our journeys, whether it's in the music industry, in the creative industry, the media industry, the entertainment industry. So for people, I love it because this film was a great example of the independent creative taking that idea, developing it over years, deciding on how we're gonna do it, laying it out, executing, the sacrifices, the funding, the money, everything that goes into it, getting people, renting equipment, everything that went into it. It is really an example of what it takes to create something independently and put it out into the world. And I think we did a great job of doing that with this film.
Action!
Welcome back to the I Hate This Industry podcast. I am your humble and handsome host, Stephen Almeida, and this is my co-host, the good brother, the architect of the Gold Print, Darrell Reese Jr. What's good?
Yes, indeed, man. What's good with you, man? How you feeling, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling like it's Monday, goddammit. It's been a Monday today, but I feel great. This is episode 11. Shockingly, we made it here. We made it to episode 11 through all the challenges. But I feel good. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Went for a run about, 2 hours ago?
Nice.
I love the daylight saving time, like when it get dark around late 7, something like that. I love it, bro. I love it.
Yeah, I was doing it, man. I was on it. I was on my workout. I lost weight, man. So I feel.
Yeah, I see, man. Congrats on that.
Thank you. So I've been losing a lot of weight, so I feel good. I've been slacking this week, but it's just because a lot of shit been piling on. So sometimes it's harder to organize all of that shit. Organize like those things when it's like, oh, this shit got to be prioritized. But
yeah,
I be trying to get in at least like some calisthenics at the crib. I got to go running or hit the gym, do some weights. But that's good, man. That's good.
Work was good. Had a lot of challenges and things at work that we just trying to get over the hurdle. We trying to be consistent. It's been a pretty good month at work.
How's the full-time position been?
Like with me, especially being in person, like I get a better understanding and I can be able to feed off knowledge and energy and ideas come to me naturally. Like once I'm in person with them, like once I'm in that atmosphere of that person. So
yeah,
I can definitely say that has helped me. Yeah, so yeah, I'm looking for
having people that you could bounce off of, like that. I work better in those creative environments. I'm more of an asset. I feel like I'm an asset anywhere I'm at, but I get into my bag when I'm in person and I could just throw things out and see if they stick, and see how people respond to it. And then you can build on and add to it. That's my bag. That's good, man. That's good. Work sucked for me. You know what it is, though, is that at least the good thing, you're working in a space where it's kind of aligned with what you want to do with your life.
Right.
So I feel like when you're in those positions, you learn a lot as to where you want to, it's like, okay, I'm interested in this. I want to do this for my life. So anything I take from this adds to that resume and to that experience bank.
Right.
What I do, and it's not something that I don't want to do, it's something that's useful and something I can utilize, and I plan on building a business around it sooner than later. I'm just waiting for all my certifications to come in. But it's not my interest, it's like, it's really something that just pays the bills. So it's like the days be draining, when you're just doing something you don't want to do. Because while I'm at work, I'm like, damn, I could be doing this, I could be doing that. Then by the end of the day, I'd be drained. So you take everything I take is a learning experience. So I'm not complaining. I just rather be doing something else.
Oh, yeah.
So what's good? What we getting into? Yo, this is, for those just tuning in, this is episode 11. I know y'all thought we wasn't going to make it. Ha ha.
Jokes on you. I'm bulletproof. But yeah, man, this is the first iteration of a segment that we're doing called Laying the Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what Laying the Foundation is, Laying the Foundation is a mini-series that's chronicling the journey and the ups and downs of the Foundation short film process. So that goes from me editing the film, putting together, Steve doing the sound design and the score, the behind the scenes, the making of the film, what led up to this moment, us breaking down scenes, us talking about the stills, the color grading, and what we newly just happened is us going off and venturing out to film festival. So we're gonna talk about all that throughout this episode. And man, like this film process has indeed been a journey, but it's just beginning. Like I truly feel like, yes, like it's been in development for 4 years, but I feel like, okay, the journey is just beginning. Like I truly do feel like that.
I agree. I think finishing the film is the beginning. I think like the work, the journey, I mean, it's all part of the journey, but I feel like this is where you make your bones at right now, you know? Because with the creative process, I feel like in our heads, the ego and the confidence, like you kind of in your mind decided you can do it already, you know? It's just a matter of showing, proving it. I feel like the challenge is, can I make it successful? You know what I mean? Can I make it successful? Can I put it in the position I want it to be in? Or how do I set it up so that what comes next, you know, is bigger and better and adds to and continues it? I feel like those are the challenges. But yeah, I'm excited about this series. I'm excited about it. I feel like, especially with this podcast, we share a lot of information. We share a lot of our journeys, whether it's in the music industry, in the creative industry, the media industry, the entertainment industry. So for people, I love it because this film was a great example of the independent creative taking that idea, developing it over years, deciding on how we're gonna do it, laying it out, executing. The sacrifices, the funding, the money, everything that goes into it, getting people, renting equipment, everything that went into it, it is really an example of what it takes to create something independently and put it out into the world. And I think we did a great job of doing that with this film. And
absolutely.
And it's not even done. Like you said, this is really the beginning of that process.
Absolutely, man. It's a beautiful thing. Just seeing it now out to a select few people and waiting for their feedback and the feedback that we've gotten. It's been a beautiful thing, and still waiting on certain feedback from this film. But yeah, man, like I don't want to go back all the way because I know I talked about it a little in the past, but when this idea sparked for me in 2021, like it was I had to pivot. I had to pivot from this film that I was doing, Scorpio, and I was just like,
I forgot that was.
oh yeah,
I forgot about Scorpio.
oh yeah, yeah, man, that was something else. That was something else. But yeah, I watched it. I watched Scorpio. Okay, I got feedback on it. And I was just like, I don't like this. I know I can do something better. Like I told myself I will not settle for mediocrity. Like I cannot settle for that. And I knew like, okay, the plan that I have, what I want to do with this, it has to take 2 to 3 years. It has to take me planning. It has to take me multiple years of development. It has to take a team. It has to take the Avengers damn near in order for me to bring this to life. So it was times where I thought I was ready to film this film, and I'm really, really glad I didn't film it at that time. It's just like it wouldn't even be close to what it was. It'll be something like Scorpio, but a little bit of acting. So yeah, it's just learning the art of pivoting in filmmaking. It has to be an asset that not necessarily that you be great at, but it has to be something that you're skilled at. And that's just anything with life, and just learning how to pivot with this film and just being patient. Like those are the 2 P's in this film, pivoting and patience. Like those 2 help me craft like the development process and things like that. And so fast forward to the editing process, and when we got done filming it, I was just like, okay, let me take a few weeks just to be centered, and the film is done. The film is done filming. Let me take a few weeks to just figure out how I want to edit this and how I want to approach this. So I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's break it off into certain aspects of how I want to do it, as far as sequencing in Adobe Premiere. what scene I want to tackle first. And then I was just like, okay, I was looking at it. It's a few more scenes that we got to shoot. It was some issues that we had in the opening scene that we had to reshoot. And it was just like, okay, I'm learning as I'm going. Like I'm learning as I'm going throughout this process and just getting feedback along the way and things like that was very helpful. Like shout out to Juan, like he helped me as far as crafting ideas and certain things of how the film look color wise and certain angles and things like this. Hey, punch in this, lower the lamp, like just small things in the film and things like that. Lower the shadows and just small details that you will only see like on a grander scale that a certain normal eye wouldn't notice. So yeah, it was just a learning process and just throughout this, and it was what, a full 2 months that we
From shooting, like
from editing.
yeah, it was like 2 months.
Yeah, like a full 2 months and things like that.
Yo, for those who ever feel any way about a deadline, listen, we had a deadline. We were damn near editing till on the deadline day.
Damn near, man. Damn near.
I mean, Darrell was reshooting, I think, the day before, right?
Yeah, like
Something like that.
yeah, like the deadline. Yeah, I can get into it. Like the deadline, I know we all over the place, but we're still in the editing phases.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it was like a few days or a day. I know it went a day before, like a few days before we shot a scene that's in the film festival version of the film because we had to pivot on certain things, and it was just like, man, like I felt like Kanye turning in an album night of, like just watching the Donda experience and things like that, him turning in a certain album like the night of this release. And I was just like, man, at this point, I told myself, you would never really be satisfied. Like I will always be in my head when it comes to this film, bro. Like, yeah. And I'm just like, okay, I'm editing it to my liking. I'm getting feedback. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. Like, okay, does the story make sense? Like that was a big question mark to me. Like, okay, is the normal person going to get this story? Is the normal person going to be able to watch the beginning, middle, and end and put 2 and 2 together and say, okay, like, okay. And it was just like, okay, yeah, like I get it, of course. And it was some things that I could have done better story-wise. And I was just like, okay, we'll do it on the next one. But we also have opportunity to remold and recraft, certain things throughout the year. And it's just like, okay, I don't want to rush this process, but I know we gotta get it done. Like that was the thing. Like we couldn't just harp on it for weeks and months and things like that. Like we have to get this done. And that was mainly the editing process. It was just like, okay, let me edit a few scenes here and there. Let me put this together. And then let me put it all together. Then let me start coloring it. Like coloring in itself was a whole different process in itself. And just honing in the skills that I knew, but also developing new coloring techniques throughout the film. And I knew during the betrayal scene between the protagonist and the antagonist, like I knew the type of color of the lamp that I wanted. Funny enough, I think it's the same color as this one right here. Exactly. So like I knew exactly like the color I wanted, and I wanted that soft light bouncing off the subject and things like that. And I displayed shadows how I wanted, but not to the extent of how I needed it to be, if that makes sense. Like there was things that we should have did in that moment, in that scene, that could have been better and made it more cinematic, as they say. So like, and that's just things that I'm just gonna develop and craft throughout the next journey and the next film and things like that. And so it's just like, okay, I know how I want the film to look. Like I know, like, okay, I have kind of inspiration from Black Panther 2, but I have a lot of inspiration from Lena Waithe's Shoulder Shot. And the way that she used these dark undertones and these warm ambient lights, these soft lights to depict certain characters in the film and depict certain scenes and moments that are going on in that scene. So it's just like, okay, I like how this look. I love how this look, but it's just one thing missing. I'm gonna get to that one thing. I'm gonna pass it off to you. Like it was just one thing that was missing in that. And so it was a few scenes that I went back and did different colors to. So I export the still, export the video, and I compared it to how I want to look and things like that. And it was just certain things that I was just like, how do I feel about it? How do I feel about this? I would say the chess scene in particular was the one that, I had to go into tiny details to fix. It was the chess scene and the ending scene with John and the wise man. Like, it was tiny, super tiny details that I had to fix in those scenes. And especially the chess scene, it was something I caught on too late. So it was like I was 95% done coloring it, ready to complete it. And then I exported and I watched it. I was like, what is that? So I was like, damn.
And the stuff you talking about things you caught in the coloring?
Yeah, something I caught in the coloring. I was just like, damn. I gotta go zoom in like all the way on a certain area of the that I want to fix and things like that. I just had to hone in and just fix it. And I watched it earlier and I was just like, damn, I could have did that a little bit more. But again, film is the foundation, as we are building it brick by brick. So we have the luxury of like just molding it and reshaping it how we want to throughout this process. So yeah, man, just the editing process, like it was just sleepless nights. It was times where I just caught myself driving. It was times I caught myself in the middle of the night just thinking about it. And it was just like, I hope people resonate with it. Like how I feel about it, like I know people won't necessarily feel that exact way, but I truly hope people get an understanding of the passion that it took into editing this film and coloring this film and just crafting this story together. And man, like the missing piece was the sound design. So I told myself like, okay, I have this color for this scene between the protagonist and the antagonist. And we had an idea of a type of sound that we wanted. And again, like filmmaking is, okay, we racing to the finish line. So if you see something you're lacking, you're gonna pick it up on your way to the finish line. I don't have time to stop and drink water. If someone running a marathon, they're drinking the water while they still running.
Yeah.
So that's how we was doing with this film process. And I told myself, this jazz music is gonna complement these scenes so beautiful. And it's gonna be truly amazing. So yeah, man, just break down the sound design on your part. You fully did the sound design. You crafted a beautiful piece of art, man. Like we were talking about Basquiat earlier. Like, man, this was a beautiful piece of art, man.
I shocked myself, man. To be honest. Seeing everybody's feedback, and just to compliment, it's crazy because I'm not as active in the group chat as I should be, but I'm dealing with kids and like I'm kind of everywhere. So I read it all and I'll comment here and there, but I'm as active as I can be in the moments I am. But seeing when you put it up and you told people to check it out, that this is the first draft, and I think everybody was just like, yo, the coloring and the sound sounds amazing, like everything. And I was like, that's crazy, because that was like, we were so hyper-focused on those two things.
Oh, yeah.
We were so hyper-focused on the sound and the coloring. And it showed. That's what it told me. It's like, shit, like that connected, you know? It connected the attention that we actually spent on the coloring and the sound. You did a really good job of communicating what you wanted it to sound like. You gave great reference points as to what you wanted. And we went and licensed the music right way. We went and did everything the right way. I've done a lot of editing. I've done a lot of sound mixing. I got into music earlier through mixing. I was an engineer before I was ever like a artist or any of that. I started in music as an engineer, but I've never done it at this level where, first off, I know you're like a perfectionist to a certain extent, or not a perfectionist. You're very set on quality. So as I'm working on things, I have to up, because I'm not the opposite. I love good quality, but I also love ruggedness, you know, like, because that's the kind of art I come from. My God, like in the art that I resonate with. I resonate with that raw and that ruggedness, and it's like, I love that. You know, I'm a Wu-Tang fan. I love the grittiness. I love when you can hear the vinyl in the thing. I think there's an art to that. So working with you, I step it up. I try to keep my style and my influence and everything in the things I do. But I know when I'm working with people, you have to also, it's a collaborative effort. So I know your standard of excellence. I'm like, okay, I have to raise my standard of excellence to this. Not just for you, but for myself too. You got to show yourself you can do it. So I did a lot of research as to what I want the sound to sound like, where it should be at. And I did a lot of mixing. And those sleepless nights, man, I've been there, because I'm talking about like working these 8, 9-hour shift sometimes, running around with the family afterwards, and then I'm not getting to the sound to really sitting down and working on it till 10 p.m., 11 p.m. That's when I'm sitting down to work on this. So you got to figure you beat. Life of them beat you up that day. You know how everybody who works a job knows what it's like. At the end of the day, you sometimes just want. And then I'm digging into the sound. I'm spending hours on it. And that process well, when I started without the video, which is probably stupid to begin with. I don't know why we even did that.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that.
When I thought about it, I was like, it don't even make no sense. But so I started by mixing the audio without the video. So I'm just really putting audio pieces together, and that was cool. But it transformed into something else when we was like, okay, let me edit with the video.
Yeah.
Because then I got to feel it. And then I got to see it, and I got to like, okay, I was able to add so much more to it than just leveling out audio. It was like, I noticed things in the scene where I was like, oh, okay, let me put this here. Let me put that there. Let me put the sound of the chess piece. Let me put the sound, like building all of those things together. It's like, you can't do that without watching it, without seeing it. I'm trying to think what's the first scene I did. But let me talk on the jazz music. The jazz music to me was incredible. First off, I love jazz. The jazz it connects this whole story.
Absolutely.
See what sound design, great films tell a story in so many different ways, right? So you're telling a story visually, you're telling a story with the dialogue, with the characters. You're also telling a story with the soundscape of it all.
Absolutely.
And some people don't understand that. Not some people don't understand that, but you can watch something where they lack in those details, or they're not storytelling in that aspect. They just, you know, sometimes, and I get it because maybe everything doesn't call for it. Sometimes you're just adding sound to the background, or where even with the selection of music we chose, it was like all these things are telling us, like everything is connecting. There's a story behind the way the music is building, or people will notice, and maybe those people who are really paying attention, you'll notice that there's one song in particular that's reused throughout the entire film. I warped it in so many different ways in those scenes, changing octaves, removing instruments in the beat.
Talk about it.
Slowing the pitch down. Like at some point you might not even tell that that's the beat. I brought instruments in and out of it at different points, and that laid this whole theme and motif to this story. That in itself is like dope. Like I said, that's why I shocked myself with it. I was like, shit, this is pretty fly. Scenes like with the transaction scenes, right? At first it was just the music, and it could have played just like that, and I was like, damn, let me add. I love that song that plays during those transactions. That shit is fire.
Oh yeah, man, that was a late minute ad.
Yeah,
late minute ad.
That shit, that music, that song is so fire. And I added the sound, the door closing, right? So I'll tell you something that I thought, and there's a trick I learned from Zaki, actually, watching him develop sound in his albums and his music, and how he transitions between scenes. He showed me tricks of how to use certain sounds to that lead into other scenes, and I thought it was so dope when it came to designing sound. So with that scene in particular, that you close the door, but the next scene is the trunk opening. I want to use this sound. I used the sound that sounded like that was the door closing, but it also sounded like the trunk opening when you open it in the next scene. It was like this transition that was really dope. To me, it was really dope because I know what I did. But it was things like that they weren't there. Maybe people won't notice it, but when you listen to it, when you hear those things, it's like, oh, it connect. You see the storyline. You see that story playing out. There's a story being threaded in the sound of it all. It's like the door closing, the trunk opening. You know what I mean? Then there's the phone ringing. The phone ringing in that scene, the next scene where it's vibrating, like all these different things. Like it didn't need that. You know what I mean? Adding it gave it more depth.
Absolutely.
You know? So and those were things, like I said, that only came with watching. I watched the video beforehand and was building the sound to it. And it's such a dope experience. I'm trying to, the voiceovers, those voiceover scenes, to me are the most, they stand out. Those are things you could play this film, just audio. That's how good it is.
Damn, so okay.
You know what I mean? Like you could play it could be an audio like story. You could listen to it, and
that's a fact.
the continuity in it, the way the jazz songs transition, it sounds so good. And I know that because I listened to it without video. I listened to the whole thing while I'm testing the audio. So there's something to that, there's just something special to that. And I think that adds to the dynamic of the film. It was a lot of work. I recommend to anybody who does get into filmmaking and sound design to spend the time in researching sound. Figure out what's the right sound for your film. Is it the music? What levels? Research the levels that the music is supposed to be at. The voice, I was scared of that. I was scared mixing it and I was using facts. I was using facts of what levels this should be at. This was scientific. And I set those things on there, and then I had to alter them and make sure it balanced out. And when I play, and I bought these headphones. These are $100 headphones. I bought these headphones specifically for this project because they're great. These are the industry standard for mixing, and it sounded great in the headphones. And I'm like, damn, that's weird. I listened to it in the car. I was like, shit. And that's what I mean. How many people play film audio in their car? I was driving to it like, this shit sound fire, right? Then I played it in my TV, I got surround sound. So I'm listening to it in the surround sound, which is something else I wanted to, but it just doesn't, not that there's no time. It's just that's a different level of it. Whereas if we editing sound now for surround sound, I didn't think we were, not that we're not at that level, but we didn't even discuss that. So I was like, no, I don't know if that's something, we could look into that in the future. But listening to it on my surround sound system sounded fire. And I remember I'm standing in my living room because my TV's on the wall, up on the walls, kind of give you for movie theater vibes. So I'm standing watching it, and that shit's blasting through my sound. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, holy shit, this shit sound good. And my neighbor was over, he's like, yo, this shit look good, this shit sound. And I'm like, that's crazy. You go oh shit, I did something right.
Absolutely, man.
But it was a journey. I went back in, I built a sound chain of effects. Shout out to Waves, fantastic company that I used plugins that took the sound to a whole different level. Waves on Towers, so the company. Izod, I think it was Izod. Izolt. I can't remember. Fantastic companies, and of course Adobe Audition, man. That's all it took. It's simple, not simple, but it took an investment. I paid the subscription for all these companies. So it take a little bit of money. But when you see this film and you hear it, you'll see why it was well worth it. You'll see why me and Darrell put up the money that we had to put up to get the resources that we needed to get to. Because we knew what it took to get to a quality that we wanted. And you're gonna see and hear it when you do, and you'll see why all of this comes from not just researching, from betting on ourselves, from investing in ourselves, from investing into the project, and not just trying to put something out just to put it out and say we did it. It's if we're going to put it out, let's do it at the highest level that we can possibly do within our grasp. What we can do, we can't do. It's that simple. What's outside of our resources is outside of our resources. But we utilized everything that we could within our resources. And all those things came in clutch, man. It came in clutch when instead of having to figure everything out, I was using plugins that are designed for to tune things at a certain way, to lower frequencies in a certain way. Like you said, I'm learning in real time as well.
Absolutely.
Editing with these things and using all these tools, and I can't be grateful enough for having the awareness to be able to research what tools will work best for me on this project, and then being able to learn how to use those tools in real time and learn to adjust. So I had edited one piece of the film, of the sound at first, and then I developed a new sound chain after I got some of these resources, and I had to go back and re-edit those with the new sound chain, that way to make sure everything sounded consistent. Darrell did an amazing job with the editing and the coloring, and how it was something that was really, really, really that we really hyper focused on, that we talked about. I'm telling you, everything was intentional. It's
And that was the plan. Like that was the plan when it came to filmmaking and just studying the people I studied, like the way they talk about these films, the way they develop these films, the way they create these films, it's every little detail is intentional. Like
Yeah.
things that you may never think was important to them, and it was placed to them from Ryan Coogler, Spike Lee to Christopher Nolan. The symbolism and the foreshadowing that was displayed in this film was all done on purpose, and the way it sounded, like Nina Simone is a great inspiration of mine. And I knew 3 years ago how I wanted this film to sound. And I was like, okay, I need a Nina Simone sounding film meets with a drama that tackles redemption, that tackles betrayal, that tackles one finding himself throughout this chaos, and one that he was deemed brothers with. And now it all shattered over a certain power ideology of how one may look at certain things in this universe that we're creating. And I was just like, okay, everything I had in my head, how can I put it on film? So that's when the whiteboard process came out and just writing these things. And it was, I tell people all the time, like the initial plot of this film is not what people are going to see.
Yeah.
Like it was something totally different.
Mind you, yo, we've been writing this for a while.
Absolutely. Like it was something totally different.
It was.
And I'm glad of the direction that we're going in it, and just crafting this universe and crafting these characters and developing this story. Like every person in this film has a unique background and serve a unique purpose. And just, I think my amazing team, like the team around this whole process, like just helping craft this from BTS to direction and certain things and ideas and things like that. Like I couldn't have done it without you guys. And we truly, like I always say, like, man, just looking at it and hearing it, like, man, we created a beautiful piece of art. Now for the people, for the select few people that's going to see it throughout the year, they can dictate how they feel about it. They can dictate, okay, I understood it, but it could have been better on this end and things like that. That's when the real, that's when the real challenges and things come in. But once we start getting that feedback from people that have done it 10 years, 20 years and things like that, that's when we really just, okay, let's go back, revisit it. If we feel it need to be revisited because it's our art and if we feel that it's okay to us, then okay. But we also have allowed ourselves for criticism. We also have allowed ourselves for growth throughout this journey, throughout this process. Because I always say it's always room for improvement. And with this being, like, this is what, my third film, really second because the second was scrapped, but like each one I have gained a different perspective on how to approach filmmaking in itself. And that has been a beautiful journey for me since 2018. When I first started this, I was just like, okay, if I'm gonna invest in this high quality audio, this high quality visual, this team and things like that, now it's on us to develop this story. So us telling a story through sound, us telling a story through color, us telling a story through certain unique key points throughout this film, like will forever be beautiful for me. And it's like damn, bro, like I'm loving the film more just talking about it like this.
Yeah.
And just seeing it every day, it was damn near a headache for me. Like that's a part of the process that we can get into. Like just editing it every day, looking at it every day, hearing it every day. At some point, it was just like, damn, bro, like
it's mind-numbing.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm ready to get this over with, but it's just like, okay, it's a part of my everyday life now. So it's just like, if I was in my own head, like we'll still be trying to edit this film and trying to get it right. And I was just like, okay, I have to leave myself room for like, okay, this is okay. This can be done differently the next time. But again, it goes back to the bricks that we're laying in the house that we're building, have the luxury throughout the year to add on, to take out and things. Like I already see something I want to rearrange in the film that I felt like could have been, like, just idea wise, it could have been done a different way. Yeah, but we have that luxury.
Yeah, I think a lot of one of the biggest things, one of the biggest critiques I had with it was every scene felt like major points of a bigger film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like every scene felt like this is the crux of a major scene, and every scene felt like that. which is, I think that's a great thing. I think when it's positioned in the short film as we have it, it can work against you in a bit. But that again, that's me being overcritical of it and seeing what we can do better. Because every scene felt like, man, this is like the crux of it, where we could build something around that scene. We could build
Every scene felt like a short film in this scene.
Every scene felt like a short film, which, I mean, that's a great thing because it speaks to the quality of the content and what was being said, or what, you know, like I said, it works both. It can go left or right. It can work against you. It's like, yeah, they're not saying enough, or it's like, it just feels like that. Or it becomes this thing where it's like, it generates interest and intrigue. Like, damn, I kind of want to know more about this character. I kind of want to know more about the scene. I kind of want to know more about that. Like, that opens so many other doors for us to create. And what people don't know is that these stories have so many, they are more in depth. The characters are more in depth. And not only that, the backstory of the story is good. You know what I mean? There's a whole world in that. There's a whole series, there's a whole film that can be, the storyline of that is so good that's being developed. Not to mention every story of every character, and then just how you could combine it into this one universe, and how just what's going on is something that hasn't even really been explored yet. We know it because it's something that we're in development of, but
absolutely.
Yeah, like, the people don't know it, but it's exciting because you get a glimpse of it on this film. And like, it's, every scene feels like a trailer. Every scene feels, you know, and that was one of my biggest things. Was like, damn, every scene feels like a trailer, but that's also, it's also good in the sense of like this being one of the first bodies of work that are coming out. And that's not saying that we're not going to add to this particular body of work to expand it more, maybe to highlight some of those things that we see. But as a first film, I think is perfect because it's like a good introduction to what's to come. Or a nice little glimpse at what you're seeing.
Absolutely. And I can say about that, just every moment and every scene feeling like a short film, in a way, in a small way that was done on purpose, but I kind of did feel like it was done like it was overdone in a way. Because again, like, it's a short film. It's what, like, I don't get a runtime, but I wanted every scene to speak volume. Like, from the music from the sound, from the color, from the acting and things like that, and what was visually in place in this film. Like, there's a part, and I want to know, did you catch up? There's a part in the film to where when John sees the wise man. Did you catch the book that he was reading?
Yeah, it was, damn, I forgot the name of it, but I did notice it, yeah.
So yeah, he was reading a book called The Color of Money.
The Color of Money, yeah.
Yeah, and just building the black wealth and things like that. And that moment shaped what happened later, like the plot of what happened later on in that film and things like that. And even the poster that was displayed in the beginning scene, that was another last minute thing. Like, just me going to Office Depot and just try to get that, because we had to pivot from the situation and things like that. So yeah, we just that, I don't want to get too much in it, but like, that title alone not only shaped the film and what those two words mean,
but what's coming next.
Yeah, it's also gonna foreshadow like what's coming next. And
that's God, man. You can't even, what else is that? That's a error. That's correcting an error that leads to something greater.
Absolutely.
That expands into something bigger. There's a lot going on. I think that's very unique, very special. That these characters are going to take you on a ride, man.
Absolutely, man. Well, yeah, with that being said, man, like I talked about in the beginning, man, we are officially off to film festival. The film was submitted February 28th. And we have submitted to over 7 film festivals, 8 categories, plus more throughout the year we're going to do. And yeah, man, that's a whole different journey in itself that I like never been through. And it's just, since I've been in this filmmaking game and just studying just the likes of people like Ryan Coogler, first film from Fruitville Station, his first big film, I think it won a Sundance Award.
Yeah.
And things like that. And the film Talk to Me was picked up by A24 because it was going through the film festival circuit. and things like that. So that alone is a journey that I'm excited for. Like I tweeted today, like that is really, I'm really excited about that one. Not only are we gonna be able to win awards, hopefully, Lord willing, and get selected to film festivals and travel, but we also get feedback. Like we get feedback from people that have been in the game for 10 plus years, 20 plus years, 30 plus years. Like we get their feedback on how they feel about the film. And that's what I'm most excited for, like that journey, as far as just hearing somebody that's
Give constructive criticism.
absolutely, and just someone that's totally from a different background of mine that just indulged themselves and immersed themselves into this world and this film to give their feedback, whether it's good or bad. Like all of that is welcome throughout this process. And like I'm really, 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 really looking forward to like that process, networking, traveling, and like I said, man,
Putting boots to the ground.
absolutely, Laura willing, man, we get selected and bring home a few awards, man. Like that's
man.
absolutely. I got a lot of goals written down that I written down in January pertaining to this film, and it's just like there's gonna be someone out there that loves jazz music that falls in love with this. Man.
Yeah. I think, man,
I really do feel like that.
the aesthetic, man, the aesthetic of this film is so fly, man. It's so fly. I know you have a lot of inspiration from Superfly, from the newer version. There's a lot of inspiration from it's Superfly. Yeah, Superfly.
Yeah, in the shot.
A lot of inspiration from the shot. But you, like, in that, and you having this vision, you created something I don't even think you realized what it was aesthetically, where the jazz music, the coloring and all that, and I keep mentioning this word, is noir, which is this particular style of filmmaking and storytelling that I was like, shit, he might have stumbled upon this just without even realizing it. And I saw it when I was mixing the sound, and then my girl my girl pointed it out, and I was like, okay, I'm not the, and my girl's she's a big film person. So I was like, okay, I'm not the only one who notices it. So it's like, I think there's something very unique and special about that. And even more so when you stumbled upon it, and that it's just a dope way to storytell in a modern day, where it's like, damn, there's some fly shit. There is somebody out there who loves jazz, who loves the pacing, who sees the aesthetic, all those things. Because again, those things tell a story as well. It's not just the script. It's not just the storyline. It's the way the aesthetics play, the way the sound, the way these color, like all that is telling you. So it encapsulates you into these scenes, and it's like, man, it's something unique. That's for sure. And that's what tells me that there's something here. You know what I mean? Because in the mixing of that, when you feel it, it's a feeling you get. And it's just like, man, there's something special about it. So we gonna bring home something.
We leaving with something. We leaving with something. Pull around the way. We leaving with something.
It's not the opportunities that come from is gonna be monumental. I believe that, because there's just so much more to come. That's the reality of it. That's what people don't see. You're gonna see this film, but what you don't know is that there's 10 other films behind this. You know what I mean? Like that's the part that people don't know. That they don't know how everything developing behind it.
I feel like Nano was just waiting.
Yeah, so even if you don't, you might not like that one, but you gonna love this one. You know what I mean? You might not like that. You might have been like, damn, that one wasn't for me. But this next one gonna hit you in your chest, and you gonna be like, damn, this the one for me. And if that one don't do it, the next one will. Because there's so much story. Everybody's gonna have an opportunity to connect. Because there's a story for everybody. There's something relatable for everybody. And as it develops more and we perfect this style of storytelling, because that's the thing, when you're building a universe, you're kind of crafting this style of storytelling and character development. And as we get better at that, because we only gonna get better at it.
Oh, indeed.
We gonna learn how to put lightning in a bottle for y'all. And you can't help but watch the show.
And for that one dude that told me to catch up,
hey, look at me now, yeah, man. I was just talking about, it's funny. I was in the car this morning, and what was I listening to? I was listening to JBP, and they were talking about the Jermaine Dupri comment about the
Independent artists.
independent artist, right? Well, so I was having that conversation in the car, and I was like, damn. And I was talking about our artists I work with, who I worked with. And I was saying, you know what's crazy? That I get what Jermaine Dupri was saying, but we're in a different time, right? Like today, a major label, like as an independent artist or creative or whatever, a major label wants you to be already established, have a fan base, have a viewership, have engagement, have success already before they invest in you, right? The artist I was working with wanted to be a major label artist, but didn't have the major label work ethic. He was stuck in an era of the music industry where it was like, oh, I just rap good and people gonna invest in me. I'm saying this to say, just because you rap good, just because you do something well, just because that don't mean people are gonna buy your product. You know?
All right.
You have to be able to thread it all together, whether it's filmmaking, whatever it is. For all you lazy motherfuckers. For all you lazy sons of bitches, work harder. And that's just my point. It's like, man, I put out a book while I was in a shelter. Work harder. And I'm not saying I'm the man. I'm just saying what the fuck I can do, what I've done in my life, what I can show up at the table with as far as work ethic. I got a whole damn family and a job and all that. I contributed as much as I possibly could to this film. It's a blessing to have people on your team that could carry the load the way they carried it. Darrell carried a lot of the load in this film. He built a team around him that he was able to see. You got to know your players. You got to know what your guys are good at. You know, you got to know what guy is good in what position. Put your people in position. This person is good over here. He may not be good over there though. But let me keep him over here. I throw him the ball when he's over here. Yo, you did a good job of doing that. You knew where to put your pieces at on the chessboard and how to move and how to operate to execute.
Appreciate you.
So it's like you have to know how to do that as leadership skills. As it can be done. Anything can be done. This shit is, man, we just getting started, man. I'm gonna love, yo, I look forward to talking my shit, man. I already talk a lot of shit. I look forward to when bringing the trophy home and just being like, y'all suck. Y'all just lazy. Man, because if you can't be, man, success is talent and hard work, man, and consistency. There's so much people who are trash, who are untalented, but are very successful because they work hard. And I respect the man who work hard. I don't respect the lazy fuck. There's a lot of you lazy motherfuckers out there who like to just
Perfectly said, man. Now we can end it on that. Perfectly said. Well, yeah, this has been a segment, laying the foundation, man. We're gonna be doing this for the rest of the year.
Yeah, man.
Like hopefully we can give y'all an update next week. Or and hopefully we can give y'all an update next week on the journey, selections and things like that. So
yeah, man. I look forward to it. Yeah, man, I kind of, before we, do film awards mean anything and how much weight does it hold?
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I seen it on my docket. For me,
it's weird.
I'm gonna go grand scale. I'm gonna keep it on the independent scale. For independent filmmakers, it means a lot, but it also doesn't mean anything at all. Just because you didn't win an award, just because you didn't get selected, doesn't mean you didn't make a good film.
Yeah.
Like there's a million variables. I think I was watching Standard Story Film. Can't forget the guy on YouTube, but there's a million different variables of why your film didn't get selected, like timing, just genre. It's a million different reasons for that, and maybe they just didn't see it, or just the person that was watching it it wasn't for them. Yeah. So there's a million different things why. So yeah, like from my standpoint, for an independent filmmaker, it means a lot to me. Only because, not just to gloat or say like I have this award, but to more so get the proper feedback and get the recognition that, okay, I feel like, okay, I like me personally, I got this film out. It's a success to me.
Yeah, exactly.
When we live in this filmmaking world, like, and just like any other creative, you put it out to the world, then you have to accept whatever criticism comes with it, whether you like it or not. So yeah, the independent film festivals and awards and things like that, it means a lot to an independent filmmaker. And even on a much larger scale, an Oscar and things like that, like you never know how you feel about it until you get it. And you can say F the Oscars all you want, but then you be like, hey, so-and-so just won an Oscar. You be like, or when you finally win one, you be like, you gonna feel away. You guys just gonna throw it away and just like, come on, what we doing?
Well, I will say that the Oscars this year, I saw a lot of independent filmmakers won this year.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, it just speaks to what I was saying earlier is like that work ethic counts, man. That when you make something intentional, like, I mean, that independent film went over like films like Wicked. Wicked was like a blockbuster smash. Like, you don't even get those anymore. Like
Doom 2, The Brutalist. You don't know what Doom 2, Brutalist, like, yeah.
So the art matters still, you know, even at these levels, the art matters, the creativity matters. So the storytelling matters, like, because those are the things that won that film. And I know there's a lot of politics. I'm not talking about the politics because we all know there's politics in the game. But when those guys win, it's like, shit, you can create something that cuts through the noise, man. And what I like about the Oscars is that they give awards for these little you know, certain things that highlight like foreign films and like the sound of things, like they give awards for all those things. So it's like, and I'm not saying takes the award, but if you're creating at that level, then you know you have a shot. And again, it leaves you open to criticism, but at least you can compete in the race. You know what I mean? And that's always fun, if nothing else. It's always worth, you know, getting in the ring. You know what I mean? Yo, and I posted this earlier today. It's a Rick Rubin quote, and he said you're successful as soon as you send your work out into the world. Tag on to what you were saying.
That's a fact.
It don't gotta be for awards. It don't gotta be for, sometimes you completing something and putting it out that you've already won. You've already done what most people are not doing. And what comes with that is everything that comes after that. One thing I've always loved about being a creative and putting things out and just really shooting my shot with things was that I put myself in the direction or in the line of fire of what's to come. Like, I couldn't be a filmmaker. I couldn't be a music producer or a podcast. I couldn't be any of those things. I couldn't be a author. I couldn't be any of those things if I ain't step in the line of what it was. My first book took me 3 years to really put it together. But once I started, one of my mantras every day was like you started. That was the hardest. Now it's finishing. You don't finish unless you start. Filmmaking, we don't get to this process, to this part of the process if we never started. This starts from conversations from years ago. Before there was a script, it was just conversations of, yo, I want to do this. That's how it started.
That's a fact.
That's how it started. I want to do this. I got this idea. I got this character. That's how it started. To now, the first film is done. Create it, if not for you, create it because you want to put it out. Create it for you, but to tell the story you want to tell for everybody out there.
That's a fact.
Man, I look forward for the updates on this, man. I look forward to updating y'all, talking more about this independent grind, independent filmmaking, breaking down the scenes, talking more about this whole film, man. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited for what's next. Yo, this has been another episode of the I Hate the Industry podcast, laying the foundation series. I am your humble and handsome host, Stephen Almeida. That, of course, is my good brother, the co-host, the architect of the GoPrint, the foundation layer, man, the brick layer, Darrell Reese Jr., man.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
All right, y'all, until next time, man.
Peace, peace, peace.
Okay, that's a wrap.